Hey, good day, everyone. I'm Rob Sparrow for the Viral Volleyball Podcast, and I have a great set of twins here on the show today from USC, sixth ranked USC in the NCAA Collegiate Beach season. That's Audrey Nourse and Nicole Nourse. And if my notes are correct, Nicole's in the black for all you watching, and Audrey's in the red. Confirm, yes?
Right.
I already made that mistake at that final duel. I felt so bad too. So thanks for joining me today and taking the time, especially in the midst of your new online distance learning schedule at USC with the pandemic that's struck all of us. And we're just so grieving and missing beach volleyball, no doubt.
Oh, for sure. Thank you so much for having us. We're happy to be here.
Well, you guys are great ambassadors for the sport, and I've always enjoyed watching you play, and you've always been the friendliest of ladies. So always good to speak with you two.
Thank you.
Let's start with our first question, but obviously going to USC, being recruited by such a highly reputable program and historic program with the marquee names like Sarah Hughes, Kelly Clays, Tina Gardina, what were your expectations as newcomers coming in and as freshmen?
Yeah, I think just as newcomers coming into such a prestigious program, we just saw the opportunity that, we'd be surrounded by really, really good players, and it would only make us better. And we'd be entering a competitive environment that we were just honestly really excited to be in, because as players, we just want to get better and we want to be the best that we can be. And I think that USC just provided that for us, and will continue to provide that for us in the upcoming years. Yeah, I think we expected it to just be a lot of work as well, and I think we're really excited to take that on. It's definitely a famous program in college beach volleyball, so it's just an honor to be a part of it, honestly. So yeah.
Well, you two are definitely no strangers to famous programs. I mean, your club team, Elite Beach, the Olympians that you had coaching you, which was the next question. You had coaches like Holly McPeak, Eric Fenoy-Moana, Barbara Fontana, and now you have Dane at USC. I mean, you couldn't ask for a higher caliber of coaches to mentor you and help develop you. But how have they influenced and changed your play, and how is your transition from the juniors club level to collegiate?
We've been really blessed with our coaches. And it's interesting because it's kind of all we know. Our first real beach coach was Holly McPeak, and she's obviously a 3-time Olympian. So we're not really used to anything less than the top, I guess. But it's just been really influential on our game. It's really helped us grow and mature and develop aspects that we didn't really expect could be possible. And then in terms of the transition, with these type of coaching, we've already been training at such a high level, so the transition was actually it wasn't that bad for us, honestly. We've played against some of the older girls previously at different colleges and stuff, so it wasn't too difficult. I think it was more the entering in. You would have 20-hour weeks of training, which was typically more than our usual training regime, so it was definitely doable, and yeah, we enjoyed the transition for sure. I think the coaching in particular really helped with that too. Just creating a really strong base and being able to go with that and build on it in college was great.
Now, in the two duels versus UCLA, it was high action, and they both came down to a dual deciding number 5 pairs matchup. And this is always a very highly anticipated crosstown rivalry matchup, and it was, in all honesty, it's a potential national championship matchup. What was it like being in that atmosphere as the new people in town, the new team in town, at UCLA, first at Mapes, I guess that was like 3 or 4 days earlier, and then going to Merle Norman Stadium, especially with yours at Merle Norman Stadium coming down to a third set tiebreak, 15-13 third set win. So it's a lot there, but I mean, I wanted to recreate the excitement that I witnessed, because I had the blessing of being able to cover both days.
It was just, it's something that we've been looking forward to for so long, ever since we first committed to USC. Just the rivalry between UCLA and USC is just something that just fuels you, and we were really, really excited. And I know that UCLA is a great team, and it's always fun to face up against them, whether that be at home or away, especially at home though. I know that at USC on our last day of playing, it was just being able to have USC on our chest and play at home, play against UCLA was a really cool thing. And we were just really excited for the competition and fired up.
For sure. We're also really no stranger to the rivalry because our family's a house divided family.
Oh, really? I did not know
that.
Yeah,
my mom went to UCLA and my dad went to USC, so we're definitely not new to it. And we've honestly been looking forward to playing against UCLA all year. It's something that fires us up. So we were just really excited to have that opportunity and play against a really good team.
So will the said member ever be wearing powder blue in your household?
Sorry?
Will your said member, that's the UCLA grad, ever be wearing powder blue in your household right now?
I think we've converted my mom, actually. I think we did.
Every single person in the family is either at USC or has gone to USC except for her. So
yeah.
She's been stricken from the roll books of UCLA now, huh?
Yeah, she can't wear blue in the house anymore.
Yeah.
Now, I was able to watch your final two matches at Merle Norman on March 11th of this 2020 season. Your match against Pepperdine's Alexis Philippone and Gigi Hernandez, and then your second matchup against Lily Justine and Leah Monkhouse of UCLA. And it was apparent there is serious improvement from day one of the season, just from that to that point. What do you two attribute your development, your quick development to?
I think, do you mean from the beginning of season to
Yeah,
where we ended?
exactly.
I don't know if it was quick development. I think that when we started, it was just a little nerve-wracking, it being some of our first collegiate games. I think that we definitely had a lot more to show those first couple games, and I think we just had to settle in a little bit. I also think it helped, playing against big programs like Pepperdine, UCLA. We're always up for a challenge, and I think once put in that challenge, we played better. Yeah. And so I think we just kind of took it on and just told ourselves we have nothing to lose, and we just had a great time in that atmosphere.
Yeah, I think a few games in, we were just reminding each other just how fortunate we are to even play for USC, and to be in that atmosphere is everything you could ever want. So I think at that point we were just excited to just go for it and not worry about anything else that comes with it, and just enjoy the moment kind of. So I think once we started to do that, we got into a better flow for sure. So.
Yeah, what was interesting about that Wednesday, March 11th was, although the pandemic hadn't fully broken out in the United States, some things had already been put into place, like the crowds weren't allowed to go into the stadium. They had to watch from the parking structure overlooking it. It's like, this is kind of odd.
Yeah.
And then right around 4 p.m., I believe it may have been your dad even, he was sharing that he got a tweet that a basketball game was canceled at Midway, Oklahoma City Thunder game. And then obviously less than 48 hours, the conference tournament was canceled and the national championship due to the coronavirus pandemic. How did both of you react to that news upon hearing what was going on?
Honestly, I've never really had anything escalate like that quickly. I mean, one day it was you can't have anyone watching your game, and then the next day it was like our season's over. It was pretty crazy. So that Wednesday night, our whole team was actually packing to go to Florida in the morning to play against Florida State in Hawaii. We had a tournament there for a spring break.
Yeah.
And we ended up canceling it really late at night, and we were all kind of in shock, kind of confused. And then Dane called us into a meeting, and he kind of just updated us on the news. It was more of the school wasn't really letting us go because of the situation. So then we disbanded. We went on with our day. We weren't practicing at that point. We just didn't really know what was going on.
Right.
Then all of a sudden, Pac-12s was over. All of a sudden, NCAA's was over. It just everything came crumbling down. It was really crazy, actually. Like we were all kind of in shock. That was our initial reaction. And the coaching staff, Dane, was there for us, and everyone, Gustavo, Laurel, all of our coaches were really helpful in that time. And then as we got further on in the day, our seniors started to feel like a little more upset about it, less in shock. Like, geez, like this is really over.
Yeah.
So
Especially because some of our seniors had, jobs lined up afterwards. They kind of had their life set, and so it's just hard, working every single day with these girls, you know, the entire year for it to
Right.
just be like ended just like that, you know.
Well, USC being the program that it is has some unique circumstances because you still have Tina Grodina waiting in Latvia, who now the Olympics is postponed to 2021. So you've got that dynamic of her potentially not coming back. But then you also have some seniors too that will be coming back with the additional year of eligibility. So there's so many balls still up in the air, but you know, even amidst all that, it's like it just seems like your USC team is very talented. I mean, even the acquisition of Haley Harward. I got to drop that name. Always one of my favorite. I'm one of Haley's homies. I hashtag it all the time.
Oh yeah.
So, but you know, and you have some great talent coming in.
Yeah.
Delaney Maple, Megan Kraft, and some other names that are just phenomenal.
Yeah.
And you guys are basically now the I guess the pioneers of the new talent, so to speak. You guys are locked and loaded for the years to come.
Yeah, I think next year, I think we're going to be very, very strong. We're not completely 100% on who's all coming back, but with who's coming in and who could potentially come back, I think that we're definitely going to be a very stacked team.
Yeah, we're really, really excited. We are really excited, for sure.
Well, it shows in your record that you definitely are working really hard to be a powerhouse for USC. I mean, you're 9-2 overall, not so bad for your first season, and it's a shortened season. And your only 2 losses were the opening traveling weekend for you two against really reputable teams. I mean, I'm sure that you're disappointed they were losses, but I mean, I look at the circumstances surrounding it. It was a learning experience for the both of you.
For
Definitely
sure,
was.
For sure.
Yeah.
Now, upon receiving that news, and this is just knowing the kind of person Dane is, he is such an encourager and such an uplifter. What words did he have for you two or even just the whole team after the realization of the cancellation of all of beach volleyball championships happened?
I mean, at that point, I think it was like on the day after we had played, it was on like a Thursday. He had brought us all in, and you know, one thing was happening after the next. You see March Madness being canceled, Pac-12 is being canceled, and then all of a sudden it's all sports, all spring sports. And so that day was just a weird day. And honestly, what we did in our team meeting before we got, you know, the season ending news, we were just kind of talking about season, talking about what we did right, what we can improve on, trying to make it seem more normal than it was. And then once we got the news, you know, he was kind of just talking to us about how we were working really hard and we had a lot of things going for us, and somehow we just got to take this momentum into next year and do everything we can right now in quarantine, just to get better and, you know, use that as fuel in this next upcoming season.
Right. Now, gosh, looking through or just reflecting on what week this is, this coming weekend would have been the Pac-12 tournament. And I personally, I was actually slated to work them. So I'm going through a grieving process because knowing the talent that's in the Pac-12 and knowing the amount of people that I personally know on each of the teams, I was super excited for it to happen. I couldn't imagine what it's like for an athlete to know that you've got a chance to play for a national championship because, you know, obviously this is a stepping stone for it. But I mean, given the talent that USC had, I suspect they would have been at Gulf Shores this year. Now, for an athlete, what is that like knowing that what could have been?
It's pretty hard to process, I think. But also it's our first season, so we don't really know what to expect, especially heading into these tournaments. But honestly, I mean, I don't want to look back on it too much. I just want to use it as fuel moving forward, kind of as our mindset with it. But yeah, it's definitely hard thinking about what could have been, the potential that we had, and everything that was going for us. For sure, it's definitely difficult to process. But at the same time, and I feel like everything happens for a reason. So you just kind of have to use what's going on as an opportunity to get better, get stronger, and just prepare for the next year. Because it's going to be just as competitive. And I'm honestly excited that some of these seniors are coming back. I heard that the top LSU pairs coming back.
Yeah. Refer to Kristen Nuss and Claire Coppola.
Yeah, it's awesome, and I love the
Yeah.
competition. So come back, and it's just gonna make the season that much more competitive next year. So I'm really excited. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Now, during these uncertain times, like I said, things are still kind of up in the air, but how are you two managing your day-to-day with academics, training, and of course, relationships? Because we have this social distancing going on, and staying connected to people is obviously part of us making it through this.
You want to go? Sure. Yeah, so we that's always weird to forget. But so for academics, it's definitely given us time to focus on it. I think the shift online, no one ever expected, so it's difficult to transition into that for sure when you're so used to being in person in class all the time.
Mhm.
But it's a great time to get ahead on that, just as it is to get ahead in getting stronger.
Yeah.
I think that's one thing that we want to use this time to work on. And just making sure that we're doing something every day, making sure we're doing a workout every day, we're getting some touches with the volleyball, playing pepper. And it's also just fun to see the family more. I know that we were only in college for a year, so it's not like that big of a deal. But it is nice being with our family, and we're just trying to make the most of it, honestly. So
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think the biggest thing is trying to kind of create a routine, and like what we'll do is we'll write out what we'll do in the day, set up
Mhm.
times for like when we have class, when we want to maybe go on a run or something.
Mhm.
And then this whole process had made me realize how important being organized is, because we have all this time, and it's really easy to just say you're going to do something and try to commit to it but then not actually do it. So I think, like, for instance, before season I had some shoulder issues, and I had
Mhm.
this rehab routine, and now when we first got home I kind of stopped doing it, and then I was like, okay, to my trainer Lauren, I was like, I just really am not being disciplined with this, I need help.
Right.
So I set up a thing every day at 12. I have to text her saying, okay, I'm doing this, and I let her know, just for my own, just to keep up with it, because it's hard when you have all this time and
Yeah.
you don't have structure in your life. You kind of have to create that on your own. So
yeah. And then in terms of relationships, we're FaceTiming some of our teammates a lot. We have weekly Zoom meetings actually, which is really
Mhm.
helpful. And we even got to talk to April Ross last
Yeah.
Friday, which was
Really
really cool.
cool.
We were
Yeah.
so grateful for that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Well, it's super great having that kind of support system. And I know that April's reaching out and doing a bunch of the Zoom meetings, encouraging athletes. I had Sarah Hughes on about 2 weeks ago, and she was opening up the connection, just saying, if you need to talk, message me. I thought it was so cool that you have this USC presence out there who has such a compassionate heart to keep the
yeah,
community engaged, and knowing that
Sarah's
we're not
awesome.
alone together.
Yeah.
So, final question in this segment for you guys. What words of encouragement or wisdom would you share with others in regards to the times that we're in?
Um, I would share that everything you go through, you have an opportunity at hand to make the most of it, I think.
Mhm.
So I guess, and what April was telling us was, replace all the negative stuff with positivity. So just keep looking at everything in a positive light. It's definitely difficult to go through, but you'll get through it. And just use it as a time to work on yourself, whatever you need for yourself. For us as athletes, we want to get stronger, and maintain our muscle that we built over all of the months that we were in season. So yeah, just using this time as an advantage and just keep a positive outlook, I would say is my biggest advice.
Yeah, and I think everything happens for a reason.
Mhm.
So just take this time to, make yourself better, do things that make you happy, spend time with family, and we'll come back stronger.
Most definitely. That's one of the things that one of the people I spoke to, actually, it's Colton Cowell of Hawaii, said that, when we're finally back at it playing, it's going to be a special time, and you're going to see some incredible performances, because people are going to truly appreciate the game, because absence does make the heart grow fonder. And I think the fan base and the people who follow USC Beach and just beach volleyball will be excited to see you both on the court.
Yeah, it's funny. I was texting some of the seniors, and I was saying, you never really know how special something is until it's gone. basically. So I was just kind of thanking them for such a fun season, and even just the sport itself. You never know how amazing it is until it's gone. It's really gone. So I'm just glad that we get another opportunity in a few months to start playing again. And I think that just like I think it was Colton, is that his name?
Yeah, Colton Kellogg.
Yeah, I think I know. Just like he was saying, I think that it's going to be really special. I think people are going to appreciate it at a different level. So I think it's going to be special for sure.
Yeah. Well, I have to add, since we did drop his name, and he'll appreciate it, he is now officially an ABCA second team All-American, just announced about an hour ago. So congratulations.
Oh, wow, congrats. Yeah, that whole very talented group of guys. So
Yeah.
that's really cool.
And he's a beach stud too. And a lot of people won't know that. I saw him at the Collegiate Beach Championships the last few years, and he is definitely a baller. So we'll be seeing him on the beach, hopefully sooner rather than later.
Yeah.
Let's take our break right there. I'm Rob Espero, and we've got Audrey and Nicole Nourse here on the Viral Volley Podcast, and home in Newport Beach, just chilling with the rest of us. Quarantine episode of the Viral Volley Podcast. We'll be back in just a moment. Hello again, everyone. You're watching or listening to the Viral Volley Podcast. I've got USC Beaches, Audrey and Nicole Nourse on with me today, and it's such an honor to have them on, especially in the times we're in, so we can just keep connected to the sport we all love, which is volleyball, beach volleyball specifically. And ladies, thanks again for being a part of the Viral Volley Podcast.
Thank you for having us.
Always great to have great people on, no doubt. Hey, first question for you is, as true freshmen and first years, how has your adjustment to college life at USC been like?
It's been really, really fun and exciting. I think being away from home has been nice. Being a little bit independent has been really fun too. Just everything about USC was everything we had ever hoped for. You know, the academics are great. We've made a lot of new friends, and obviously the volleyball is amazing. And we've just, honestly, it's been one of the best years of my life before quarantine happened. Yeah.
How about you, Nicole?
I've enjoyed it, just as she said. It's so much fun. It's I feel like USC is the perfect balance between having your high level academics, athletics, and then also just a good social life.
Mm-hmm.
Our first semester was so much fun, and it was fun to be around a team. That was one thing that we talked about. We really enjoyed. As a beach player, you're never really on that team like you are an indoor with a whole group of girls.
Mm-hmm.
So it was cool to just be a part of something that was really bigger than yourself, and it was definitely something that we enjoyed. So.
Yeah, actually, it's a good segue to my next question, because I got to see you two play at Orange Lutheran in your indoor career. I believe it was one season. I can't remember what year exactly, but you know that your OLU team was in a conference or a league that had teams like National Powerhouse, Modern Day, and Santa Margarita, and you two were definitely one of the top performers in that league. Now, what were your motivations to step out of indoor and focus strictly on beach?
Well, just as volleyball players, we actually started on the beach when we were really little. In the summers, we just go and kind of mess around before we really knew what it was and what kind of potential we could have.
Mm-hmm.
And then, I think freshman year was a big push for us, because growing up, we always played a lot of different sports: soccer, basketball, golf, swimming, and volleyball.
Mm-hmm.
And she was particularly basketball player. I was a soccer player. And then we had always played volleyball. We started playing beach together, and we realized that we'd much rather be together on the same court than separate. And
Right.
So it kind of took off from there. And for indoor, I think we quit club indoor after freshman year. And for high school, it was just kind of a fun opportunity to represent our school, to play with our friends. And for beach, it was a little bit more business-like, and definitely something that we wanted to pursue going onward.
Yeah, and I think so. Our junior year, we actually won CAF. It was awesome. And then we decided to not participate in our senior year for indoor athletics at Orange Lutheran.
Yep.
And for me, I think it was kind of primarily just to not get injured at that point.
Yeah.
I mean, we had a lot of big stuff ahead of us, and it would definitely be a bummer to have an injury going into college. So. we kind of have to make a sacrifice there, but I think it was worth it.
Yeah. Now, got to ask you this about your first season, but what would you say are your most favorite experience in your first season, and why?
Here at USC?
Yep.
I think when we played, so after we had lost in South Carolina, we played FSU, and that was just a big game for us, not only as a pair, but as a team. We kind of got our confidence back. And I think just our game was pretty cool because I feel like it was a momentum shift, a switching point for us. I think we played how we wanted to play, and we got the results that we wanted, and we gained a little bit of confidence after that. And it was really fun when we were playing. We played Kate Privet and Maddie Mae Anderson, and they're a great team, great pair. And it was just a really highly competitive game. Had a lot of fun, and it was just great having, all of our teammates around us just screaming, cheering for us. And then after the game, they were just so happy for us, and I just really liked that moment. And just feeling kind of like this fan around me, it was amazing. Yeah, for sure. Really cool.
Yeah, there is some incredible performances, and obviously there were, at South Carolina, I guess you were the dual deciding match, I believe. And then, in that number 3 spot is a high pressure situation, technically. I mean, that one is the scale tilter. But how's it like being in that kind of position? Because you guys were definitely, with a 9-2 record, just shows that you have actually 8-2 at the number 3 spot, which is a great winning percentage. But what kind of pressure do you feel on the court, being that you could tilt the scales in the duel's favor?
Yeah, for that game, even though it didn't come out how we wanted it, we were telling each other that I loved it. I actually loved being in that scenario. We were telling each other, this is exactly what we wanted. This is what it's about. This is exactly what we play for. This is what we do for. So I love those types of situations. I think it's a great time to execute and finish and just trust in your training. So yeah, I just really enjoyed it. And I think that even though it was a loss, I think just being in that situation helped us for the upcoming games, because it really does matter. Every single point matters. And for us as a team, most of our losses were 3-2 losses, and actually a lot of them were just by 2 points. So the margin there is very slight for a win or loss. So I think we really saw that firsthand, and I think it was really beneficial for us to focus on getting business done and delivering for our team, because at the end of the day, it's a team sport. It doesn't matter if you win necessarily, but or lose. So it just giving your all and trying to get a point on the board is really huge.
Yeah. Well, it's such a great vibe, especially in the setting of collegiate beach volleyball, especially when it comes down to it's 2-2 and there's a dual deciding match going on the court, and it's going into a third set. And there's just so much excitement. So I've got to ask this of you too, because I asked this of a certain other beach volleyball pairs team. I won't say their names. I will say they're Canadian. But have you ever messed with people and pretended to be the other sister and exchange identities?
We always get this question, but we never really have. I mean, in school, like you'll hear twins like switch classes, but we were always we didn't want to get in trouble or anything.
Yeah.
We were kind of rule followers in school, so we didn't really do that.
Yeah.
But obviously on the court, we wear the same hat, same glasses, flip numbers that are flipped.
I mean, we'll mess with our friends a little bit, but I mean, they already know us.
Yeah.
So they know
there's no use in doing it.
Yeah.
Well, this other Canadian pair I'm referring to, at least I can tell because they have their hair parted on that side, and that's the way I can distinguish them. What's the secret to telling you two apart to someone who's brand new to meeting you two? Like me last summer.
Yeah. I have a freckle or mole on my left cheek. I mean, that's kind of hard to see when my hair is down.
I kind of have a freckle/mole on my chin. Not really sure which one it is, but I have like a mark on my chin, kind of. Nicole. Right. And there's also like an L in Nicole for left hand. There's an R in Audrey for right. So if you remember the name.
That's what people have told us. I don't know if that's.
It's really hard. I can't even tell you.
Some
one
people,
thing,
and we've heard like so many different things. I'll hear, oh, you have different eyes, you have different noses, but I think it's very similar. We hear different stuff all the time. So I think it's whatever you think works to tell us apart. That's what you go with.
Yeah.
Well, if you go back and listen to my play-by-play broadcasts of you guys at the club championships, I butchered whoever was playing. Oh, wait, that's Audrey. No, Nicole. No, someone just hit with their left hand. I don't know which one.
Yeah.
It's hard.
Okay. It's inevitable,
difficult.
honestly.
But we
don't have numbers in clubs or juniors.
Yeah, seriously.
So, well, that's good to know. Hopefully our fans take note of that. I definitely will, because I know I'll be calling some of your guys play in the future here. So let's take another break right there before our final segment, which is one I didn't prep you guys on because I wanted to get the off-the-cuff response from you two, because we want the real and unfiltered Audrey Nicole Nourse. We'll be back in just a moment. Hey, good day, everyone. We're on the Viral Volley Podcast. I'm here with Audrey Nicole Nourse of USC Beach, who are joining us from their home in Newport Beach in our quarantine episode of the Viral Volley Podcast. We're in our final segment, our fun segment called The Rundown. It's just like on the court. You have to be ready with a quick answer on defense and be ready to get right back up and answer again. So we're going to ask them a few quick questions and see what their natural responses are, so you can see what's going on in the heads of Audrey Nicole Nourse. All right, we got Audrey on the left in the red for you watching, and then we have Nicole on the right in the black. So first question, what's your go-to song before a match or duel?
Oh, this year it was mostly Life is Good by Drake.
All right.
Yeah, for me, it was Life is Good as well.
All right. Do you have a favorite quote to live by?
This is
Motivation Mafia quote?
Yeah. Good one.
This is so cliche, but it's literally all that's in my mind. I don't really, but what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. I don't know.
I don't have a quote.
That's a quote in itself.
Yeah, I know, but I don't know. I don't really have a quote.
All right. Next one. Favorite movie?
Favorite movie? Coach Carter.
All right.
That was good.
Nicole's up, and she's stumped.
You have more time.
What should I do? Can I give you a favorite TV show instead?
Sure, that'll work.
The Office, hands down.
Yeah.
Oh,
here.
John Krasinski.
Yeah.
Thumbs up there. Favorite place to be is fill in the blank.
The beach.
The beach. I have to say the beach too.
Okay. Favorite kind of food?
Sushi.
Sushi as well for me.
Truly the twins answer. On a deserted island, I wouldn't want to be without fill in the blank.
My sister.
Food.
That's kind of a slap in the face right there.
Yeah, I want to do something different, and I love.
Yeah, honestly,
can't live without it.
All right. What is your favorite team or person to play against?
I think this year I'll go with UCLA was our favorite to play against, just because of the rivalry.
All right.
Yeah, I would have to say UCLA. And it's hard because we had like a quarter of a season, so I don't really know, but I would say UCLA for sure. Very competitive, really fun.
All right. If you had won the California Lotto, I would fill in the blank.
I would travel.
Okay.
I would. You're taking all the good answers. I would probably buy more volleyballs because they're really expensive.
All right. Well, you just get a sponsorship and they can hand them down to you. There you go. After college, of course.
I won the lottery. You would not do
All right,
that.
here you go. Here's the stumper question of the segment. It's your last bottle of sanitizer or toilet paper. Who do you give it to?
Probably Nicole.
Yeah, I would give it to her.
That's very sweet of you too. See, it's not so bad of a segment. There we have it. We have the inside makings of Audrey Nicole Nourse here of USC Beach. Hey, ladies, thank you so much for the time this today on the Viral Volley Podcast, and just for sharing your experiences last year. Because obviously, being in the times we're in, it's we're looking for encouragement where we can find it, and we're missing our volleyball. I'm not gonna lie.
Same here.
Yeah, thank you so much for having us. We had such a good time.
Thank you.